Hey guys, it's Lauren from Girly Knits, and in today's tutorial I'm going to be teaching you how to add a pocket to your knitting. So you can use this tutorial for any knitting that you want to add a pocket to. I'll be demonstrating with my LK150, but this applies to any machine. I'm going to be showing you how you can estimate where to place your pocket and how big you want it, and also how to do the calculations so that you know where to place it and how long to make it. And also I'll be showing you how to do latched up ribbing at the top of the pocket and how I bind off, which is a super easy bind off that I think looks really pretty. The cardigan that I'm demonstrating in this video is my new design called the Girlfriend Cardigan. And if you want to get the pattern for that design, you can go find it at girlyknits.com or on Ravelry and Etsy, where I'm Girly Knits, and it's also linked in the description below. This is a super cute new design I have that comes in multiple lengths. You can make it cropped, regular, long, or even a dress, and it looks really cute with pockets, which is what inspired me to make this tutorial for you. The yarn that I'm demonstrating with in this tutorial is Hobbies Portobello. It's this really gorgeous variegated yarn that goes between blue and greens, and it's really pretty, so if you want to check that out, I've linked it below as well. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is decide where you'd like to place your pocket. I found it helpful if you have a swatch and you just take some pins. You can use that to pin it to your garment and then try it on and play around with it to see if you like where it's placed. For this garment in particular, I thought it looked nice with the pocket centered on each panel. So to make sure it's centered, you can count over from the button band as well as the side seam. And in this case, I placed it 9 columns over from the button band and the side seam, and then there were 27 stitches in between. And it's also helpful to have an odd number if you're going to do the ribbing so it looks even. So in this case, my stitch gauge is 5.25 stitches per inch, so 27 divided by the stitch gauge is about 5 inches, as you can see here. And then I wanted my pocket to be square, so in that case my row gauge was 7.75 rows per inch, and then if I take that times, I was actually 5.14, I got 40 rows, so I did a total of 40 rows, which as you can see is about 5 inches as well. And then if you'd like to do this ribbing portion up here, I stopped 9 rows before the 40 rows, so at row 31 to start the ribbing, and I will walk you through that. So the first step is you just want to mark where you're going to be picking up your stitches. You're going to be picking them up at the bottom of the pocket. And I wanted mine placed here, which happened to be 14 rows above the mock ribbing. So you would just want to count 14 rows up and 9 stitches over and mark where that is on either side so you can see where you need to pick up your row to start the pocket. So you can do this a couple different ways. You can take a tapestry needle with some waste yarn and thread it through to mark the row that you want to pick up, or you can use a needle. In this case I'm using this very thin circular needle, and ultimately we're going to be turning our cardigan upside down to hang it on the machine. So the row that you want to pick up is the bar that's between the V of the row you want to pick up. This gives it this really nice seamless look. In order to do that, we're just going to take the needle here and go through that. And then you just want to make sure that you're picking up that row, it's along the same row. And I find it helpful if you fold your knitting. It makes it a little bit easier to pick those stitches up. It can be a little tricky sometimes picking up the row above or below, but you just want to double check that it is the correct row. And you can do that by counting from the bottom to ensure that. So once you get that row picked up, we'll go ahead and hang it on the machine. All right, so now that we have those stitches picked up, we're going to transfer them to the machine. So I'm just going to take this, and then we're going to be basically hanging it upside down. So I'm just going to take my 1-prong tool and transfer these, and it is 27 stitches, so I'll just start here just to double check that I have the correct amount. All right, so once those are hung, you see we have 27, that's correct. We just want to change our row counter to 0, and then use whatever tension you are using as your main tension for your garment. In this case, I was using T4. Then we're going to thread up the yarn we're going to use, and we're going to leave a tail that we're going to use for seaming the pocket to the garment later. So I'm going to leave a 13-inch tail, so I'm just going to grab that there. and then put that in, and then we can just go ahead and start knitting. All right, so we're just gonna grab some weights, and then as I mentioned before, we're just going to knit to row 31, which is 9 rows less than the total amount that we want to knit to mark our mock ribbing. So now that we're at row 31, we just want to take our ravel cord and place it in slot 2 of the feeder. And then this is going to help us with our mock ribbing. So we're just gonna take that, put it in slot 2. That will make sure that it's visible. If it's in slot 1, it's kind of hit or miss. All right, so just we're gonna do that just for this one row, just guide it along. And then you can take your ravel cord out. All right, so now we're just going to go ahead and knit to 40, which is our final row of the pocket. So another thing that I didn't mention before is typically with latched up ribbing, I would go down a dial or so, but I found that it made the pocket kind of cinch in, which I didn't like. So in this case, I just used the same tension as the main tension for the latched up ribbing. So now that we're at our final row, we're just going to be latching up, and to do that, you just want to start and end at the third needle and start at the end at the third to last needle. So we're just gonna take this guy, and then we're just going to drop it down, and we can see here where the ravel cord has marked where we want to drop down to, and we just want to grab that stitch right above where the ravel cord is, and then you can just kind of yank it, and then it will drop down, and then we're just going to use our latch tool to latch up. And then we'll just continue to do that every other stitch. All right, so we finished our latch ribbing, and now we're just going to bind off. And I like doing a loop bind off, and to do that, we're going to just knit one row and then use our latch tool to bind off. And typically I like to go 4 dials up from whatever tension I'm using. So we were at T4, so I'm just gonna go up to T8. I'll just rehang my weights here and then knit 1 row. And then I'm going to use my latch tool and just pull these out a little bit. And then we're just gonna grab that loop, take it off, grab the next one, pull it through, take it off, grab the next one, pull it through, take it off. Just make sure I got the right part of the stitch. And then just do that to the end. And this creates this nice chain look that I think looks nice. And of course you can bind off other ways if you prefer. I just really like this bind off, and I use it a lot. All right, and then once we reach the end, we're just gonna leave a tail the same length that we did to begin with. So that was 13 inches. I'm just gonna measure that. And then we're just gonna pull that through the last loop, and we'll use that for seaming. All right, so now we have our pocket here, and we just wanna remove our ravel cord. So we're just gonna pull that out. Hopefully it goes smoothly. And then just kind of fix that up. And then we'll start by seaming this side, and we can remove this marker here. We don't need that anymore. And then essentially we're going to use mattress stitch to stitch our pocket, but just a little modified. We're going to do like a half mattress stitch. So to start, we're going to go up the column that we started the pocket on. So I can see that's right here. And then we're just gonna go in 2 bars through the middle of the stitch. Normally with mattress stitch, we'd have a selvage stitch. But in this case, we're going through the center of those 2 V's with the 2 bars. And then on the pocket, we will also be going through that selvage stitch through the center of it, through the 2 bars. And then again, we'll be going through 2 bars of the V of the column that we started our pocket. So we're just going to continue doing that. So as we'll go along, you'll see this creates this really beautiful seamless pocket where you see there's this column of V's, column of V's, column of V's, and you like really don't even see the seam. And then so you just want to go continue seaming all the way up to the top edge. And then when I got to the top edge, I just marked where I ended and then used this little guy to mark over here and where this one should begin, aligning with this column, and where it ended here. And this one, we'll just be doing the same thing, except we'll be doing it from the top, so it's gonna be a little reversed, but you're still going through the V's. They'll be upside down this time, through 2 bars each time until you get to the end. And then when you finish, the pocket will look like this, which looks really nice, and then you'll just wanna take those ends, secure them, and weave them into the inside. And that should, look really neat and nice too. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you make some pockets, I would love to see them. Please do share. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And again, if you want to find the pattern for the cardigan that I demonstrated in this video, it is called the Girlfriend Cardigan, which you can find on girlyknits.com or on Ravelry. If you want to find me, I'm Girly Knits on Instagram. I also have a Facebook knitting machine group that you can join if you'd like, which I'll link below. And if you would like to support this channel, I also have a link at buymeacoffee.com/girlyknits, and I would really, really appreciate your support. It really helps me to continue to make videos for you. So I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.